cheerleader of the Niners. Saleh and Liam Cohen got into it on the field following the Jaguars' win early on the season. It's 57 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Well, last night we saw one of the more exhilarating national championships in the world of college football as Indiana held on to beat Miami 27-21. Since Miami's a massive rival of the University of Florida, would I be saying it was exhiliarating if Miami won 27-21? Probably not.
What a game. What a game it was. It was exciting. Physical, bloody. Throwing a little blood into the mix and
early
a
on
bunch of toughness.
Yeah, okay, so I have
grit.
a question. Those refs, the Big 12 refs, if they decided to let the guys play and wanted it to just be super physical between the DBs and the wide receivers, why call anything pass interference? Just
Correct.
literally go, unless it's the most egregious, which
Right.
I didn't like how they called one, and then I didn't like how they only called one pass interference, but yet to me, the guys were being handsy all night. Okay, let them do that, then don't call one PI.
Right.
And I didn't like how they missed the targeting early against Fernando Mendoza, and then they call a roughing the passer on Indiana. It's like, you can't call that when you didn't call that. So I didn't love the inconsistencies. But overall, obviously, Kurt Cignetti and his team, they were well coached, and they walked out with the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, look, the refs are, what they are. I wish, look, as long as they're consistent, like you're saying, like call it both ways, the whole time. But I tell you what, a lot of grit out of that team. They went into the halftime, made some adjustments. Yeah. Miami gave them a run. Got to give Miami a lot of credit for making a run, and but credit that Mendoza kid. I tell you what. He's got the arm, he's got the size, and now you see he's a tough dude. He took a licking early. Early he did.
I don't know that Tom Brady had the biggest arm either, right?
Nah, he's got a big enough arm.
I'm not saying he's going to be Tom Brady.
He's got a big enough
bring
arm.
up Tom Brady since he was on the sidelines watching Mendoza closely.
I feel like, to me, the first half, Miami did a great job in the first half, because to me it felt like Indiana was dominating, and to only come out of that with 10 points, I was like, it felt to me that game at that point should have been 17-0, just because of the way I felt like Indiana was able to run the ball better. They were getting pressure on Mendoza, and that affected certain situations, but when they needed that third down, they were getting that third down. And so I literally texted a friend at half, and I was like, I didn't love the final play call either, or the drive in general right before Indiana went into the locker room.
Weird.
Yeah, I didn't love it, and I texted a friend, and I was like, if they lose, it's because of this moment. You're going into halftime 10-0 after pretty much feeling like it was your first half, and then that in the right before the half play calling and decision making, I didn't really totally love, but they were able to pull it out at the end, and I think this is one of those games where you're going to look back. It's the Mendoza touchdown, the QB draw, is going to be something we're going to talk about forever.
Yeah,
I mean,
4th and 5, and also weird clock management then too.
Yeah.
It looked like they were going to go for it, then maybe kick the field goal, then take the timeout, and you thought, at least I thought late too, that's a problem at Mal. Indiana only has one timeout. Miami has all three.
Yeah,
I thought even way before that draw. I mean, that was unbelievable, the hits that he took. But early, the first half, he was getting hit a lot, it felt like. But they were just body blowing him. It felt like they just, like you said, they would convert. They'd get the running game going. They'd get a nice pass going. Maybe he takes a hit while he's doing it. But he showed a lot of grit. They all showed a lot of grit. Cignetti finally had a beer. It looked like he relaxed a little bit, so that's great. And they're already on to next year, obviously.
You have to be.
You have to be, right?
The transfer portal window is open for those two teams for the next 5 days.
Yeah, I saw where they signed some kid from TCU, a quarterback.
Yeah, they did that
in the portal like earlier this month to get ready, and the Mendoza kid's leaving, the brother. But I tell you what, if I need a quarterback and I'm early in the draft, I would take my chances on Mendoza.
Yeah,
I would. I think he showed enough, grit and toughness. I think he's got a good enough arm, and he's a big guy, and he showed me a lot of stuff last night.
So what about the conversation where Fernando Mendoza seems kind of cheesy? Right?
He's goofy.
He is.
We thought Liam was goofy too when he first got here.
He's kind of
his
Kirk Cousins.
Duval, but he turned it around.
Like
Yeah.
Kirk Cousin vibes to me, where it's like,
oh yeah, yeah.
a little cheesy and weird, but it worked in Minnesota. The team rallied around him, and I remember being like, I don't get it. He seems like kind of weird uncle to me, but the team all was like, Kirk Cousins is amazing. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks I've ever been around. Sometimes that weird energy works in locker rooms. It helps when you're winning, obviously. If you're losing, maybe that starts to get a little annoying. But he dropped the F-bomb, so there's some fiery in there somewhere.
He's got it in there. It's just his face looks a little bit. When Kirk smiles, he kind of looks the same. But look, Kirk Cousins is tough as nails, too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that in those documentaries. But yeah, great. I mean, what a great win for Indiana. Is it great for college football? I know we're going to talk about that, but we'll figure that out a little bit later. But it was an exciting night, no question about it. I'm happy for the Hoosiers and the Hoosier fans.
It's funny too because we talked so much about between Liam Cohen and then yesterday when we did our one sentence on each game, and I kind of went into Ben Johnson on those fourth down, and then you go for it on that fourth down and it works, and look at the difference the conversation is. So that's what's so tricky about those moments, because you have these moments where a fourth down call can ruin your game, and then you have a fourth down call that completely changed. And I would, it's not the only thing, obviously. There were other moments in that game. The blocked punt, huge. That moment for them really felt like it shifted momentum back into the Hoosiers' favor.
Yeah, I heard JJ talking about it earlier, and we thought the same thing last night. Like, what was number 87 doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you missed that block. And we saw other times where it looked like maybe some Miami defensive players were loafing, and you saw them kind of get into it with each other on the sidelines.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and that to me is part of the whole culture thing, right? Like Liam's culture, Ben Johnson's culture, Kurt Cignetti's culture is aggressive. And that's who they are. It's not going to change. Will they learn from at times, like if the 4th and 5 didn't work for Indiana yesterday, would maybe Cignetti in that same moment another time, if they play for another national championship, would he change his mind? To me, I don't think so. I think that's who they are at this point in time. But the bigger point of it is the culture part. And last night, at least from television, I was not there, but from television, it looked like Indiana had the better team culture, and they love their quarterback, and it looked like Miami didn't necessarily have as great of a team culture.
And it's funny because I was listening to Primetime, and JJ
it
said
must listen to
it was
as it is.
JJ said Miami's more talented, but Indiana was the better team, and that stuck out to me in the sense, and that's exactly where I went with it. Was sometimes you can build these powerhouse teams with all the talent in the world, where every person on your team's a 4 and 5 star, or in the NBA, LeBron, what he does is stack all these power teams up. That doesn't always transfer to championships, because you have to have locker rooms that get along. You have to have locker rooms that believe in each other. And when you're down, you can rally through those moments. You have to trust your coach. The coach has to trust the players. And that has been Miami. And I know they just made it to the national championship, so it's not like everything collapsed or anything like that. But they lost to 2 teams they shouldn't have lost to this year, in SMU and Louisville. Both of those times the games ended on picks from Carson Beck. It was injuries. It was a lot of penalties. We've seen that throughout the year. Those are the things that trickle into, if the culture and the belief and the structure isn't fully in place, that's when you're getting a lot of penalties. That's when you're getting those turnovers and bad moments. That's when you're seeing kind of people get chippy with their own players on the sideline and make bad mistakes in the big moments. And so to me, I was thinking the exact same thing, because I was like, that's just the prime example of, it doesn't matter. You can have every talented player. Your roster can be 22 guys that everybody in college football would want, and that doesn't always transfer to championships, because you have to also work and mesh together too, as individual and as a team.
It's the same formula for the NFL, right? It's not just scheme and talent. It's the kind of player you bring in, the kind of person that you want in your program,
and the
on
age
your
ranges
team.
are about the same. Indiana's roster age was very close to the NFL roster.
Yeah, but no, look, when you have that infighting, you're frustrated. I'll get out. You're almost like you're thinking, there's no way this could happen to us, and then it happens, and then you lose your composure a little bit. And what you saw with Fletcher at the end, they slapped keep your helmet on. But whatever, you shouldn't do that anyway.
The game's over. You can take your helmet off.
Well, if there's a confrontation and the one guy has his helmet on, you should have your helmet on, is all I'm saying, to make it an even. But it should have never happened, obviously. But yeah, I think I felt like, when you watch that movie, like I said yesterday, it kind of feels like that. They're going to do it right. They're going to do it disciplined. They're going to be physical. They're not going to stop, and they're going to figure it out and find a way to win. And I think you saw that, not just last night too, right?
Right.
During the year, that Penn State game, you saw that. They came for that last drive was unbelievable. The catch was unbelievable, but the drive was unbelievable, even after the pick that he threw late in the game. So, you can get it done that way. Now, if you have swagger guys, because we've seen that. As long as they hold each other accountable inside the locker room, you can win with that too. But clearly they're not doing that in the Miami locker room. I think they're really good when it's good, and they're not so good when it's not good. Now, in their defense, I'm sure Miami fans could sit there and be like, well, I mean, if we don't screw up the punt, like, we win this game. Like,
but
we could have won or
you
could
also
have won
have
the
to
game.
know Indiana has excellent special teams, and they've blocked multiple punts this season. So as the coaching staff, you have to have your guys ready for that to come, to fruition and make sure that it doesn't happen. But look, I think too, we talked about it yesterday. I said everyone kept saying if Miami plays a clean game, and we were like, but that's what they do.
Yeah, no,
they
okay.
haven't played a clean game. At times they have this
if
season.
Miami does.
Yeah, if Miami plays a clean game. And I was like, but that's a big if, because that's not what's happened a lot of times, in the big moments. And so I feel like everyone last night was waiting for that one mistake to happen. And look, in my mind, the Hurricanes didn't lose just because Carson Beck throws that one interception.
No.
The Hurricanes lost the game because I feel like their defense didn't do enough to get the job done. It's what I felt about the Jags losing to the Bills. The Jags didn't lose just because of Trevor Lawrence's interception. It was eerily similar, honestly.
Yeah.
They lost because they couldn't stop the Bills.
Yeah.
Well, and Trevor got him leads too, right?
Yeah.
Which
For sure. And Carson Beck certainly did a lot.
He did.
Their offense, you can't go 3 for 11 either on third downs, and that's what Miami
it was
did.
0 for 9, I think, early.
It's those are the moments that start to stack up late in games when, especially if that defense, Indiana's defense, is getting off the field quicker and you can't convert third downs, then that turns into Indiana's fresher at the end of the game, and you kind of saw that in moments late. And so all those things pile up. But to me, that all kind of wraps into playing a clean game. And what Indiana has done really well this year are those things: third downs, fourth downs, not getting penalties, not the special teams in their favor. Miami's been opposite, and all of that stuff kind of caught up at the end.
And look, the corner on Beck's interception, he made a great play. A little more air on it, you might have him. Those are those windows, right? Those windows, you gotta, get him over the window.
Well, he knew he had a safety over the top, so he didn't have to worry about that. And he jumped the route. And to your point, his uncle was part of the pass interference that cost Miami the national championship against Ohio State.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's cool about Jamari Sharp, Matt Hayes had this in his article in USA Today Sports. Matt, of course, covering the game yesterday. I don't think he slept since the game ended and was back here for primetime today. But Jamari Sharp went to Northwestern, down in Miami, obviously. And Miami wanted no part of him in 2022 when Coach Cristobal took over. 4 years later, he obviously ends up with that interception.
Yeah,
and that's the story of a lot of guys. If you go through, we all know the Mendoza story that he grew up in Miami. Miami didn't even give him like a preferred walk-on. Yeah. And but there's other guys too. The tight end for Indiana that caught the 2-yard touchdown pass, Riley Nowakowski. He was a guy that had no college offers whatsoever. Started at Wisconsin and then transferred to Indiana. And then also the guy that blocked the punt, Kamara, he had no rating from any of the recruiting services. And yet that's what obviously Kurt Cignetti, he saw the talent and built them into a team. But I want to keep the college football conversation going on the other side. So keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
When the sun goes down, Hacker is up.
Who is that guy?
Ryan the Hacker Green.
You're one of our very special people here.
He'll tell you about tonight's games and hot topics. Hacker After Dark, right after Rick Ballou. Evenings on 1010XL. It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday, backed by Morgan & Morgan.
The new year is the perfect time to finally get organized. Lauren Brooks here, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. That's right, they came into our house and took our measurements, but also talked to me about what I needed and Brian needed from the closets. From closets and garages to home offices, entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and more. Beautiful, functional storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. Start the new year strong with 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free in-home consultation today. Call 904-878-9393 or online, closetsbydesign.com.
Happy New Year from Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It is 2026. Is this what you've been waiting for? Is the time now for you to drop the weight with Awaken 180 Weight Loss? Look, the time was right for me. I had to do something. I remember looking at myself in the mirror, just couldn't believe it, man. I was going down a bad path. Found out about the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss, started talking with a coach, and instantly I knew that is exactly what I needed. Awaken 180 changed my life. I lost over 100 pounds. Guys, take it from somebody that lost triple digits on this program. It worked for me. It will work for you. No shots, no pills. You do it the natural way with the terrific coaching of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or go to Awaken180weightloss.com and do what I did with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI defense firm.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. People ask, are your solutions for thinning hair permanent? Yes, our solutions have permanent natural results and are guaranteed to work. Put our 35 years of experience helping 10,000 plus men and women to work for your thinning hair. Our trademark hair transplant procedures will give you 3 times more hair in one procedure. PRP and laser treatments are fast, easy, and effective, and only take 30 minutes. Most of our staff have experienced hair loss ourselves. Our caring and confidential team can help you look better and feel better about yourself and restoring your hair again.
For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Brown is the back. Back, steps up, delivers downfield, and intercepted! Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship.
I will say, watching that game last night, and I'm sure y'all took this away too, it was sure as heck loud when Miami was on offense.
Oh, yeah.
That Indiana crowd was there to make a ton of noise. And look, they said about 60-40, 60% Indiana, 40% Miami. For as expensive those tickets that everyone paid for, like, shout out to everybody who was there last night. It was a raucous environment. But, yeah, you just heard, obviously, Chris Fowler and the Carson Beck interception that sealed the win for Indiana.
Yeah, I heard Matt said he felt like it was like 65-35, but I have multiple friends, family that all live in Indiana. And it's not people that have money, but they were all like, we never thought this would happen.
Right.
And
They're mortgaging everything.
Yeah, I mean, like for real, I heard multiple people like pulling all the stops to make sure they could get down there.
I mean,
to Miami.
people say that it's it's this like a Super Bowl basically, obviously in college football, and some people are going to spend $5,000 to $10,000 a ticket to go to the Super Bowl. So spend $5,000 to $10,000 to go to that. Yeah, I have a friend. As I've told y'all, she was at the Cotton Bowl, and then she and her husband were there last night with a bunch of her friends that they all graduated from Miami. And she sent me a text during the game, and she was like, "Dan's sitting next to Hoosiers fans, and they don't understand football. It's a basketball school." I was like, "What?"
They do now.
That's changing.
They do understand certain things. I feel like the average fan now wants to extrapolate the fact that Indiana won into the future of college football. And I don't think you can put it in that small of a box. Like just last year, look who won. Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State has all of these blue chip recruits, has obviously paid a ton of their players through the transfer portal as well. Yep. And they were able to have good culture and go on to win the national championship. Michigan before that. So yes, 3 in a row for the Big Ten is an accomplishment for sure. But I don't think now that Indiana won with a lot of guys that weren't necessarily highly recruited players, that's how you are going to do it from now on. Like it's going to be, through the transfer portal and older guys, the more mature players, and that's how you're going to win. Like I think there's a different way to win. It just depends on the team and the situation and the path that they get there.
I think that's a beautiful thing with Cignetti, having older guys, having younger guys, having them really strong. You don't feel like it's just a one-hit wonder. And I'm not saying they're going to be in the title game every year, but they're building something. I think within a conference, you should feel comfortable that you could maybe get there. Like Indiana what did they do in the Big Ten forever? They were 500.
They were the worst.
Yeah, they were or worse. Yeah. You know what I mean? They weren't any kind of powerhouse at all. But I think what's changed in college football, if you have the right coach. See, one thing I think, and Coach Duffner was saying it on primetime, the way that he could grab his kind of players, not just talent, they fit my talent, but they're gonna adhere and they're gonna thrive under my messaging.
Intangibly rich.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, I think it's even harder in college football, right? With all these different, guys available and how do you get them in the portal and all that kind of stuff. But for him to bring it together. Now, he did bring a lot of JMU guys initially, right? That knew his message, comfortable with the message, would spread the message. That's one thing you want, in that locker room. You want your kind of guys who are going to be like, hey, man, quit bitching and moaning. We're here to win, and so what if he runs us a little more? Or so what if we hit more on Wednesday or whatever the case may be? You don't get the
playing time that you think you should get in the case of a guy like Charlie Becker, the wide receiver last night. By the way, I would not mind him to be a Jaguar one day.
No, he's a player.
I liked him. But I agree.
I think that I don't think we're in a world where all of a sudden you're going to see all these teams be like, oh, well, Cignetti did it, so I'm just going to hit the portal and get all of these older kids that were 2 stars, but I'll make them a 5-star. Like, I don't think that's realistic, but what I do think we're seeing happen is college football is changing. I mean, we're only a couple years into the multiple portal transfer, the being able to transfer multiple times. We're not deep into that. We're not deep into the college football playoff, and you're already only a few years into those things, and NIL, obviously, a few years into that. You're only a few years into that thing, and we're already seeing Indiana football win. I think this is the start of a lot of changes happening, and not saying that you're not going to see Ohio State and Michigan and Georgia and all those teams in it still, because they also can pay players. They also can recruit players, but I think now this gives the opportunity. What's going to happen now is Indiana was just in the limelight. All these young kids that had never watched Indiana football their entire life just watched them win a national championship, and now they will be able to recruit because they're going to have this opportunity that kids are going to be able to see them and be like, oh, I can get to the national championship if I play for Indiana. I don't have to go compete at Georgia or Alabama or wherever. I don't have to go south if I don't want to go south. Some kids don't want to. And so I do think we're seeing the start of changing. We're only a few years into it. So Ohio State still won last year because you're only a couple years into all these changes happening. But I see this happening a little bit more often. I see some of these schools being more competitive because I think kids are just going to be able to see and get more opportunity than they were previously.
Yeah, and I think, look, you got to hit on the QB. We talk about that. You could talk about Florida State. You can talk about Beast. You can talk about different schools, the ones that hit, whether it's Ole Miss, getting from Ferris State State, whether Mendoza.
That was their backup, too.
Yeah, exactly. So, that you got to have that. And what that does do, too, just to add to your point, how many young kids in Indiana don't want to play quarterback for Indiana?
Yeah.
After watching Mendoza do what he did and lead this team to a 50-0. I mean, the excitement there is
16-0.
16-0, correct. Yeah. Sorry. We don't have to go anywhere. Let's stay home.
Yeah.
Let's be right here. Or if you're in the region, where do you want to go? Ohio State, maybe sit or maybe go start or whatever at Indiana. I'm going to Indiana. Maybe it just brings more because you've done it now. So maybe can that be sustainable? I think you still got to hit on the QB. Regardless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got to have a quarterback at the collegiate level, just like the pro level. If you don't have a good QB, it's going to be tough.
But that's why Miami's trying to get Duke's Darian Mensah right
no,
now.
Of course.
JJ said paying somewhere in the ballpark of like $10 million, $4 million the buyout for the Duke contract, and then another $6 million to be the quarterback next year. If you've got it and you can spend it, then by all means,
I mean, feel free to try to recruit a quarterback. Also, you live in Florida, the hotbed of recruiting.
No doubt.
Yeah, look, I understand the transfer portal is going to be a part of college football until they change the rules back, if they ever do that. But I don't love the fact that the portal is closed and they're still here, or you're still hearing that Mensah might leave. Like that portal is shut now. There shouldn't be what I think of as tampering. But either way, the NCAA is never going to worry about that. I do feel like what was cool about last night is, and we talked about it with the lower stars, the lower recruits, but you have so many more guys on the Ohio State roster. If you look at a mock draft right now, first 1 round, 2 round, whatever, 3 round, a lot of guys from Ohio State in there, a lot of guys from Miami in there. Mm-hmm. And besides Mendoza with the first overall pick, you're not going to find another Indiana guy for a while. Mm-hmm. Like Surratt, I think Elijah Surratt is 100% going to be a good NFL receiver. Yep. But I've seen him in like the 50 plus, maybe like 45 plus.
Yeah, and that's some of the things I also think come along with changes. And that's what I think we're only a couple years, 2-3 years into all of these things. In 10-15 years, I wouldn't be surprised if you're seeing more Indiana players and other lesser, like not talking about the Georgias, Alabamas, Ohio States constantly in the draft, because they're going to be able to recruit. The problem right now is most of the guys that you're getting in these portals are probably guys that if they do go on to the NFL, they're later round picks. There's a reason that they're still in college at this point and haven't already entered the NFL draft. Some people for other reasons. Some of it's money. Some of it's, Carson Beck wanting to not go to school and get paid and play football. But
William, he was hurt. Seriously. If he hadn't torn his UCL, then he might have gone to the draft. Yeah.
But so I do think I wouldn't be surprised if in 10-15 years you're talking about a lot of other schools starting to creep in, because you've seen some of them, you've seen some of the exceptions in recent years anyways, but more of that, because now they are going to want to, you can recruit, I think, a little bit easier. Once you get that national championship tied to you, the young player, these young kids now are going to be like, that's a cool school to go to. You can win the natty there. Their coach is awesome and he's fiery, and you just beat Miami at home in South Florida. Like, that's fun, and that's how you get recruits. And getting young recruits, those 5 stars out of high school, is what turns into a lot of those high draft picks.
Yeah, listen, I'm thinking so you could build your grunts, your glue with recruiting right from high school. You could go after all your skill guys. Like, forget the guys that only have 1 year left. Like, you go after a kid that maybe you kind of like, but you weren't going to recruit, going to offer him, but maybe he's at a year, and you go in after a year. You're like, hey, man, you're second string right now. Why don't you come over to my school and I'll make you first string? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you could actually build a strategy around, guys that have 3 more years or whatever more years, instead of, it always seems like, oh, he's a 5th year or he's got only 2 years left, that type of thing. I mean, you could really build, a program that way. And that's, the smarter guys will, but you got to be you got to be pretty smart in knowing what you want and not wavering from that, right? Not wavering from, but wait, coach, he's a 4-star. I don't care if he's a 4-star. He doesn't fit my whatever I'm looking for. It doesn't matter how talented he is. He's just not going to be a fit, and it doesn't matter. And we know how. Look, the stars to me are ridiculous anyway. I mean, you could totally dominate in high school and be a 5-star, and then get to college and you're like no different than a 1-star or
Leon
a 2-star.
was a 2-star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what he reminded
so
people
it
of.
doesn't, to me, I think we get too carried away with that. I know it. Look, at the end of the day, if you got a bunch of 5-stars, you should have a pretty good team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not if they don't play together. Yeah. Not if they don't work together. You're not going to have a good team, like you were saying earlier.
Taylor knows this about the blue chip ratio, that almost every national champion has had over a 50% blue chip ratio since they started tracking it, right?
I remember you talking
and
about
it may just be slightly over 50%, like Michigan was the year that they won it, 2023, but they were 54%. I don't know what Indiana's blue chip ratio is for this year because they were not over 50%. So this is the first time in certainly at least 15 years that they've been tracking it. But again, that's the way that Indiana did it. That may not be the way that next year's national champion did it, but I also wonder how much better of a coach is Curt Cignetti than a lot of these coaches who couldn't win it with all the talented guys on their roster. Like, the reason Nick Saban won all those titles is, yes, he had discipline and his culture was great and everybody wanted to play for Alabama and he got all the 4- and 5-star guys, but he also was a really good coach. Yeah. But Cignetti's now doing it with this crop of people.
Well, and Saban did it in the my way or the highway era. Yeah. It's not like that today because you'll be like, oh, I'll just leave and go get a few million over here. Yeah. So don't give me my way. That's what makes it even more difficult. You know, and when you grew up in that, you almost accepted it. Like, I got to do what you say.
Now you can't hurt their feelings. You can't hurt their feelings anymore.
Right? Or they just say, I'm out of here. You know, no, coach, you can't. I'm not doing that or whatever. I'm going to just leave and hit the portal. And that's just the era we're in. So it's even more difficult to keep it together, to build and to have a winner and to go undefeated. I mean, it's really remarkable. And,
that's why Saban pieced out.
He did not want to deal with all that. If this is accurate, Indiana's blue chip ratio for this season was 8%.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not.
So that's where Georgia, 74%, Alabama and Ohio State, 73%, LSU, 71%, Oregon, 67%, Texas, 65%, Texas A&M also 65%, Notre Dame, 57%, Miami, 55%. That's the one I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
But you feel like this is why Kalen DeBoer at Alabama has been on the hot seat. Brian Day, once upon a time, was on the hot seat before he won. LSU just fired Brian Kelly. Oregon, Dan Lanning, they love. Texas, Steve Sarkisian, you wonder what's going to happen since they have Arch Manning, and they haven't done a ton yet. A&M, obviously, a couple years ago, fired their coach. Notre Dame loves Marcus Freeman, but they have fired, obviously, or Brian Kelly left of his own volition. And then, Miami made it to the national championship. By the way, Penn State, 53% at 10.
Yeah,
that's why they fired James
Franklin.
If you, that's how it has always been, not always been, but that's been the formula to win over the last 20 years, pretty much, of college football. And so if you have that talent and you're not winning, then that's when we've seen these coaches lose their jobs.
I'd like to
jump ship.
I don't know if they do it. Do they reset those stars? Does anybody ever do that?
For the transfer portal?
Or whatever. Like, kid, comes into Penn State as a 5-star. After 2 years, is he still a 5-star? Has he gone to a 3-star? You know what I mean?
They don't. They just do it, I think, just once they're seniors and they're being recruited. Yeah. And they don't redo it with the transfer portal, too. But we've talked about how at some point they're probably going to have to, because of that, or find a new metric.
Like, this is your recruiting star, this is your portal star.
Right. Like, what have you done for me lately? Basically, in college, for sure. All right, we will keep the football conversation going. Get it to AFC South news that occurred last night. Keep it right here on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Start the fresh new you with Local Fair Jacks, the online farmers market, delivering fresh local food to your door. Start for just $7 with code FRESH1010 at localfairjacks.com.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday is
litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itbpartners.com. ITB Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
Happy New Year, taco lovers. Don here from Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach. Football season is wrapping up, but Taco Lou is still cranking out the tacos. If your New Year's resolution is to get back in the gym, remember you can keep the workout going with a taco in each hand or a taco in one hand and a cold Dos Equis or margarita in the other. It's practically my entire exercise regimen. Well, maybe all of it. Anyway, come in, relax, and be ready for a great year. Happy New Year from all of us at Taco Lou.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
New year, new lifetime dreams. Let's build them together. Jeff Breyer here with the Lifetime family of companies, your local backyard
and indoor
home improvement specialists.
That's right, Dad. Lifetime enclosures, Lifetime flooring, and Lifetime windows.
Glass and screen enclosures, outdoor kitchens, pergolas, replacement windows, all to enhance your home's livability and value. And a huge flooring showroom with thousands of the latest tile, LVP, hardwood, and carpet selections to help you fall in love with your home again.
Come experience the Lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our limited Lifetime offers.
Lifetime Enclosures. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Bell, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. When we saw the news last night that the Titans hired Robert Saleh officially, I thought to myself, well,
let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. They think Robert Saleh is going to be better than Mike Vrabel?
I think
What
they're
evidence
just
do you
getting
have?
a Mike Vrabel is what they're doing. They realize they messed up and they're like, what's the closest possible that we can get to a Vrabel? And Saleh's that. Saleh's defenses have been elite everywhere he's been. Even with missing entire pieces of your defense, he's able to make things happen there. Everybody, from what I've heard, and I know we had all the stuff between Liam and him and whatever. Previous to that, Saleh's been always known as honestly one of the more like nicer dudes in the NFL.
Yep.
And even after all of that, and he came out, he was like, I was trying to compliment them. Like I worded it wrong. I really wasn't trying to offend anybody in that situation.
Isn't he the one that when he was early on in his Jets tenure, he was like, I keep receipts?
I don't
Robert
remember
Saleh?
that. I don't remember. I've always heard from people that he's a cool, nice guy.
Yeah,
Like
I've heard
that's
that
what
too.
he is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everyone's always like, it's also kind of weird because he's a defensive coach, and usually those defensive coaches are a little more like fiery and whatever. You get that energy out of. I think when he got fired from the Jets, I thought it was a bad. I didn't like it in the beginning. I thought that they had way more issues than what Robert Saleh was bringing to there. I thought it was more of an Aaron Rodgers decision more than anything. I think they're getting a good coach. Now the next step to that is you have to find the right offensive coordinator because you have a young quarterback that is going to need some development and we've seen that if you can have a great defensive head-minded coach, and if you get the right offensive coordinator that can work and develop that quarterback, it'll work. If not, this could be a disaster.
Yeah.
And Tom, you probably know people that know Robert
Yeah,
Saleh.
Brant Boyer's a good friend of mine. He's the special teams coordinator at San Fran, was with Saleh in the New York Jets as well. He loves him. He thinks he's a great guy and a great coach. But I agree with you. You know, look, it's a copycat league. You know, well, look what Vrabel did. And he's got a young QB.
You had
You know, no, I know, but look what he did with New England. He's got Drake May. We've got a quarterback we believe in. We think he's going to be something. Let's get in some discipline. Let's get a defensive guy in. Let's see who he can bring in.
Well, they
as
missed
the
when they went
coordinator.
offense.
Yeah,
last
right.
Yeah.
So
By the way,
I get it.
It was Robert Saleh in 2022. He said, "I know it's going to happen about the Jets turnaround. We're all taking receipts on the people who continually to mock and say that we're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm taking receipts, and I'm be more than happy to share them with all of you when it is said and done." That's what I just remember, like a little bit of back and forth with media.
Well, I mean, look, like to your point, Rodgers gets hurt on the fourth snap of the first season, right? So that had to be extremely tough. I was a little surprised, you know, but I kind of get it just because I'm sure that's what they're thinking. Like, well, wait a minute, we let Vrabel go. Let's bring in a Vrabel-like guy, and let's see if we can do what New England did in just a year. You know, I think it's easier said than done. You better have the right coordinator. Look, nobody will say Josh McDaniels is a great head coach, but he's a heck of an offensive coordinator and has been for a long time. So if you can find somebody like that and pair that with Cam and maybe you got something, you know, I mean, he'll bring a physicality, you know, Tennessee always seems to be physical. So I think that's part of their makeup. And he'll bring a defensive mind. He'll bring some accountability, and you know they'll take a swing at it. But again, you got to have the QB.
Yeah,
you got to have the QB at that league. So even if you have the best philosophy in the world, if you don't have a quarterback that can help you win games, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough to get it done. But I don't wish him well because he's in the division, and I think it makes. I think it. You know, more theater. Bring it on, man.
It is.
It's
Bring it
definitely
on.
bringing, more juice to the rivalry that was once obviously a very bitter rivalry. And then the Titans have not been good over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Before that, the Jags weren't very good. So the Titans were running away with the division. But yeah, the Liam Cohen, Robert Saleh thing, for people who don't, I guess, remember, would be back when the Jaguars were playing the 49ers earlier that week when Saleh met with the media. He said that Liam Cohen, remind me of the words that he used.
He said legal sign stealing.
That's right.
Legal sign stealing.
Right.
That
he blamed
tree
the Rams.
of people, the Rams tree all has their, and then so he went back later and was like, I was complimenting them and I just used the wrong words. What I was trying to say is like, they're the best at what they do in the sense of they can figure out defenses so well and they do all of these things. Yeah. So he worded it wrong. Obviously, Liam Cohen took that and ran with it full force midfield and told him to say it to his face. And so that obviously, I think honestly, Robert Saleh may still be confused of like why that got so intense. He was probably, because I remember him sitting there like, I don't even know why you're this mad. And then he probably went back and was like, oh, like I said it this way and I didn't mean to say it.
Well, if you take the legal and the stealing, I mean, you're concentrating on the stealing.
Yeah.
Like, he called me like I'm stealing from. You know, it's amazing today that you can even steal because they're all covering their mouths.
Yeah.
You know, unless you got a mole
What he
inside.
meant was the way that Liam Cohen uses the formations and the motions that he's trying to figure out what the defense is going to do to react.
Yeah.
But that's not how you phrase it. And so I'm sure that Kyle Shanahan talked to him and was like, it's the verbiage, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's how you say it, sometimes it's also what you say.
Yeah, and for the record, I would venture to guess that they've already like had a conversation. Yeah, like come on, they're not going to be like this. Is not going to be like.
But you always talk about Liam's edge. You think
he might use it for his team, but I don't know. I'm sure Saleh reached out and said, you know, privately. I would imagine. But you know whatever. Look. Bring the theater. If that helps the juice, then bring it on. It's all good by me, but just have security. You know, when you go to midfield for the handshake, make sure Baselli's next to you. I don't know.
Robert
Maybe
Hainsey
that'll help
was
you.
there this past time.
There you go.
Yeah, look, I'm not
Walker
saying
Little did not help in that moment.
I'm not saying that they're going to fight one another. Like I don't think
they
that we're
would.
going to
No, they get fined like crazy. You kidding me? That'd be their wives would be very mad at them for that.
Yeah, but they will be around each other at the team meetings or the NFL owners meetings, and so I feel like if they haven't had a conversation since then maybe
Probably
that'll be the
point.
time.
Yeah.
That
And Saleh he's like a jiu-jitsu dude or something. Like, he's into all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe you want to work on your game there, Liam. Or just get Tony to stand by you. Nobody will do anything then.
There you have it. All right. We'll get into Tom's takeaways. Will it be about jiu-jitsu? We shall find out. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios. Some things just never get old.
Beautiful day for baseball.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by Morgan & Morgan. For the people. Dial # law.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 20th, 1980, the Steelers beat the Rams 31-19 in Super Bowl 14 to become the first team to win 4 Super Bowls.
We've all been there. You hear about an incredible event Monday morning, but it happens Sunday. Stop missing out. Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida, and we have the solution. From under-the-radar sporting events to the perfect family outing or date night, Visit Jacksonville is your all-access pass to the city. Plan your 2026 season at visitjacksonville.com/locals. Visitjacksonville.com/locals. Or download the Visit Jax app for the full lineup. See what you've been missing.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Duval Fence is looking for the best in fence installers. Check out DuvalFence.com right now and fence in a great job opportunity. From estimates to installers, they're looking for you right now. Log on to DuvalFence.com for all the details. Equal opportunity employer.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This is Hayes Carline for Island Wing Company. Great news, we have a new location in addition to Southside, Durbin, and Fleming Island. You can now enjoy your favorite wings at the brand new Tamaya location on Beach Boulevard. Another great spot offering the ultimate sports bar experience where you can stick to healthy options. Island Wing Company has a wide selection of fryer-free food. The wings are baked, not fried, and were voted best wings in Jacksonville in 2025 by Jacksonville Magazine. Round up your friends and get to Island Wing Company today.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
So proud to be on 1010XL. Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. You know, we love our animals.
Yes, we
that's
do.
what we are discussing off
That's
air.
right.
There may be a new puppy added to the McManus family
That's what
here
I'm
shortly.
told,
That's
yes.
very exciting.
Yes, it is.
And yes, we love our animals. By the way, I did want to mention this one last Jaguars and coaching note. The Jaguars will play 5 teams next season that have either had or have head coaching vacancies. The Giants, of course, now coached by John Harbaugh. The Ravens, that one's still open. The Titans hired Robert Saleh, as we just discussed. The Browns could be your former offensive coordinator, Grant Udinski. And then the Steelers' job is still open, too. So just interesting as everything shakes out. It's no real surprise because there are 10 openings, which happened in 2022 as well.
I saw today, which I didn't notice this until I read it, that the NFC North's the only division that didn't fire a head coach. I was like, that's, every other division lost a coach.
Yeah, wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a third are open, right? 10 are open. It's about a third.
I'll just put it out there. I'm glad the Jags got Liam Cohen last year.
No doubt. You're right about that, Taylor. No doubt.
All right, Tom, take it away.
Now,
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaway today on this beautiful Morgan and Morgan Tuesday is I'm going to be a little selfish today. I do want our assistant coaches to get all the opportunities in the world, but I don't want Anthony Campanile to go anywhere. I feel like he's got unfinished business with this defense. The defense was very good, there's no doubt, but they've got to be better. We talked about that already. They've got to get off the field more, and they've got to protect the lead. And I think, look, you can't pass up a head coaching job, and I'm glad he's doing the interviews and all that, but I hope at the end of the day he sits there and says, you know what, I'm going to go back to Jacksonville, and I'm going to build this defense, and I'm going to make it a formidable pass rush and run stuff and getting off the field on third down, takeaway type of defense that's going to bring us a championship. Now, if he gets offered, I'm never going to blame him. I would never do that because it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. But selfishly, I hope he stays, and I hope he comes back, and I hope they add a little firepower to that front, a little bit more on the DB side as well, and bring a championship to Jacksonville. So close this year, but yet so far away. And if Campanile goes, that means a new coordinator, unless they hire from within. It means new terminology, maybe a whole new scheme, and I don't want to go through that again. I think we're ready to build upon what we had last year. That's my takeaway today, brought to you by our good friends at J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
How about adding the big number 99 for Miami, Ahmad Moten? The defensive lineman.
Yeah.
How about adding him to the interior of that defense?
I mean, look, obviously college is college, and he's a beast. There's no doubt. But we got to have something inside, and even if Eric does come back, we need another, someone to replace him eventually.
Yeah.
It might be during the year, it might be next year, but you got to get a penetrating 3 technique on this team.
And he's 6'3", 300 pounds, so he's got the...
Big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the meat on his bone.
Listen, what do we need? We need a Jeffrey Simmons type. That's not too much to ask. The Chris Jones's type. Whoever.
Simmons is probably the second best defensive
He's the
tackle in all of
best,
the
but
NFL. Well, yeah, because
go for the best.
Chris Jones versus
but you do need somebody with that type of resume. Maybe not the elite. Look, Quinnen Williams would have been great. Are you kidding me? I would love to have him on this team. He would have definitely made a difference. There's no doubt about that. As he did make a difference for Dallas to a certain degree. But I know we tried to go get him, so I'm not going to be shocked if some way, somehow, we get a new 3 technique here in town.
I would hope so. I hope so. And to your point, whether that's this year at some point or whether that's the replacement for Eric and you're bringing somebody in to be that next. But, I mean, the defensive line, especially the interior, has been a conversation now for several years, and it still needs some help. And even with Eric, and I know a lot of it was he got injured, and after the injury, we saw that production kind of drop a little bit. But it started slow and ended slow, and you need somebody that's in there and that's going to bring you a little bit more consistency. And so I do think that's something they're going to address heavily, is that the defensive line in general, but especially the interior.
Maybe you transition Eric to an off-the-bench type player. He's not an every-down player. He comes in at certain situations, and you've got a new 3 technique that takes over his role as the starter, full-time. not.
So in theory, now granted it's the previous regime, but like I mentioned yesterday, Mason Smith wasn't really in the mix. So would you believe that this regime has decided that Mason Smith is not Eric Armstead's replacement?
I don't think he is. I don't know if they're totally ready to give up on him, but man, you didn't really hear a lot about him all year long. You know, even as the year went on, you'd think. Now he got in there a little bit. He did okay, but man, the kind of size and athleticism, he should be a dominant player. So can Liam get to him? Look, he got to the other guys. I mean, what do you say about Anton? Hey, if he wants to, he can be one of the best. What did Anton do this year? He showed that he wants to. He had a good year. You know what I mean? Maybe they can do that for Mason Smith. Maybe this year wasn't the year to light that match fully. You know what I mean? Maybe just a little bit, and let's see if he can. Look, and Eric's getting a little long, and he's older. You know, he's still a good player. He's not a bad player. But you need more of a dominant, consistently dominant type player. And maybe Eric can be that coming off the bench. I don't know. You know what I mean? But maybe that's part of the game plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think to your point about Anton Harrison, he may have done such a good job this year that he is going to be moved to left tackle for next season and have Cole Van Lannon at right tackle next season. And I'm not predicting that. I'm just wondering if that's something that maybe they'll do. I think Cole Van Lannon has shown he'll play anywhere. Doesn't matter.
Wherever you need him to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a positive to have somebody who can play all over the line in general. But yeah, then it gives you options with those tackles that you've been trying to figure out now for a few years, and you can really have your best five out there rather than having to be like, okay, well, you want Anton on the field, but now you can have Anton and Cole because they can flop if you need them to, or play where, stay where they were this year.
Yeah, CVL will do whatever you need him to do. No question about that. And then on the other side, we just know how important that push is. You got to have a pocket collapsing type interior D-line. You just have to, because all they do is step up and step out. You're not getting them off. You're getting them off their mark from the pocket, but they're not that worried. And if that's a pressure, that doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry, it doesn't. If my DN, comes around and the quarterback steps up and sneaks out, you count that as a pressure. That means absolutely zero to me. You know what I mean? Now, if you got the interior pushing, like you've seen it happen.
We saw it last night.
Right, you step up and they're right in your face.
Yeah, when they were sacking Mendoza, Indians' offense couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why New England's defense is as good as they are? A lot of reasons, but a big reason is Barmore and Milton, because those are two of the best interior defensive linemen, and they have two on the same line, and they just stop. Nobody can do anything against them, and that's been massive.
Yeah, Spillane and Ellis, they're good, man. They're really number 33. I don't know his name. He's a solid player too. But you're right. You got to have that up front. You build it up front. You build it up front, and then build it out. And this offseason, I think they'll spend here in town. They'll spend a lot of their time building up front and making sure that's solid.
Absolutely. I'm trying to get you your number 33 as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, you are.
And the
good
answer
at that.
is Anthony Jennings.
Yeah, he's from Bam. I think I saw on the screen last night or the other night, because they showed where he was. He's a 5 or 6 year player, I think, from Alabama. 3rd round pick, something like that. Anyway, he plays that 3-4 outside backer, really nice. He's a big guy, can handle the run, and maybe not get you like TJ Watt down here this year, type of sacks, but 5 or 6 in that range.
And yes, 3rd round out of Alabama.
There you go. And how we haven't mentioned Chase on at all. How about him?
Yeah,
I mean, talk about putting him in the right position, outside linebacker, 3-4. Hello. You tried to make him a DN. He was too small. You guys, it's so amazing to sit there and go back, because we all were saying it he's out of position. He's out of position. He's out of position. He's getting killed, not doing anything. Oh, I get it. Let's stand him up and move him outside and use his athleticism to win instead of his strength. And man, he's had a couple good. He's had good years with the Raiders, and then over with the Pats. I mean, give credit. I mean, everyone made fun of him for that T-Rex looking thing in the sand, and I did too. I was like, what the heck is that? But it appears to be working for him.
It's funny.
He's doing it in the snow now.
Snow angels.
We had the conversation with Yannick Ngakoue way back when, right? He's really good rushing the passer. He's not great against the run.
No.
So why do you have them in when you think they're going to run the ball? It's not that hard to put them in the right position and or take them out on obvious run downs.
I think a lot of it is a lot of NFL will be ego, and they're like, hey, I can make him. Give me, let me have him. Like it happens all the time. A guy gets cut, and another team's like, oh wait, no, that kid's a 1st, 2nd round pick. Bring him over here, and I'll make something out of him. That's
Quincy
their
Williams.
thinking.
The Jaguars drafted Quincy Williams.
Oh,
discarded
what a miss!
Went to the Jets.
Yep.
And obviously, he's been really good as well.
Yep.
All right, Lauren's Lane on the other side. Keep your radio dial right here, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
From the Queen Law Group Studios.
Helmets and heels.
Hey, this is Derek Trucks on my hometown station 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday, protected by Morgan & Morgan.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
Huh. You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval. And that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
Get national insight from a local legend.
I know exactly who this man is.
Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Written by Lee and Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's the Happy Renewal Year sale at Renewal by Anderson. Buy one, get one, 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer expires January 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts the Jaguars call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
Staying active no matter your age is key to living life at its fullest. Rebound Rehabilitation wants you to know they can get you back up to speed and back in the game, pain-free. Rebound Rehabilitation with a dozen locations across the First Coast with top-of-the-line therapists ready to assist you. Neck and back pain, hip, knee, or foot pain, they can help. Excellent patient care combined with the highest quality and rehabilitation services. Look for a Rebound Rehab location near you and get back in the game. ReboundRehab.com.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie. All those festive holiday feasts probably have added a few extra pounds, but here's the thing. You can make this the year you finally lose the weight safely and for good. Now, you know by now my daughter Amber kicked off the journey with Awaken 180 weight loss back in the summer. You ready for this? She's lost 100 pounds in 6 months. Man, is she proud of that. 100 pounds. And she really did it with this really, really good plan. There's no shots, no medications, no supplements, just real food and a proven plan. That's right, with Awaken 180, you can still enjoy your favorite food and drink. No more yo-yo diets or feeling deprived. The structured program empowers you to control your eating without hunger. It really is doable. Don't just resolve to make the change. Make the change. Call Awaken 180 today and take that first small step. Book your consultation now, 1-844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It worked for Amber. It really did. And it can work for you. Awaken 180 weight loss.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update.
As the Gators basketball team has been red hot, Florida center Ruben Chinyelu has been named SEC Player of the Week. The Gators moved up to number 16 in the AP poll this week and are back at home tonight when they take on LSU at 7 p.m., airing on 10:10 a.m. and on the 1010XL app. It's 58 degrees at 3:03. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Tonight, we lie awake. Remember how the coffee made us shake on those long
Have you seen this song in concert, Taylor Doll?
I have. This is All Time Low. I've seen them many times. I haven't seen them in a while, though. But the last time, actually, I think I saw them was at Freebird. They played at Freebird, and I don't remember how long ago that's been since they closed, but it was pretty soon, like towards the end of the Freebird time that they played there. But they're really good. They've gotten big, like a lot bigger. When I used to watch them, obviously, Freebird was even one of the bigger venues I saw. It was like a lot of smaller, like downtown places. I'd go see them originally, and now they're playing, huge festivals and stuff. So good for them, but bad for me because
then the tickets go up. Yeah. That's the bad part. Two other music notes. We were talking about Eddie Money, how I saw Eddie Money back at the Super Bowl in 2004 and then also at Freebird one time. And we did not mention that he passed away in 2019. So
yes.
Cleaning that little detail up. And then also music-wise, this Friday night, beginning at 7 p.m., Dad Bods takes the stage.
I invited all my friends. So
did you? All right. Good, good. It'll be a fun night. We're looking forward to it. We will take the stage at 7. You'll know all the songs and a lot of energy. My band's really good. The guitarist, the drummer, the bass, and the rhythm guitar, they're really, really tight. We put on a tight show. And I don't know anything about music. As far I know drop-ins and stuff like that, but I let them handle all that kind of stuff.
Do you need any backup singers ever?
Oh, they back me up. Yeah, the drummer backs me up. Yeah, you need it. I definitely need it.
I meant female backup singers.
Yeah, you guys want to jump up there for one or two? We'll get the 1010XL thing going. Yeah, I could always use a couple female voices. Why not? No, more the merrier. I want to add a horn.
Okay.
Like a good friend of mine out there, Jeremy King. He can really wail on the saxophone.
I know Jeremy.
You know Jeremy?
Yeah.
He's great. He
all the horn players.
Yeah.
I know.
He comes to the show on occasion.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really great, man. He can really belt that thing out. But yeah, man, I love it. Music heals. Music inspires.
Definitely. 100%.
It makes you feel good. Makes you roll with whatever emotion you're in at the moment. And
makes you live in the
I
present moment.
Yeah, and I think, for me, we started at age 50. I was never in a band prior to that. I just, bump it. You only live once, let's go. And I'm glad we did it because it's a good release. It's a good thing.
Did you you started it, or did they have a band and they were like, we need a singer, and you were like,
No.
I can do it?
No, my guitarist, my lead guitarist, Daryl, him and I would sing. He plays the guitar and he would bring it to parties and whatnot. I would just sing a little bit. And I tried to get him to do it first. And he's like, nah, I'm not really ready. I said, okay, no big deal. And then right before COVID, he's like, hey, I think I'm ready. I'm like, all right, cool. So we played, we got together. The first night was terrible. I don't know. They tried to get me to sing. He tried to get me to sing Highway to Hell, and it was awful. It was so bad. And anyway, so we just kept working at it, and he knew the drummer. The drummer knew a bass player, and the next door neighbor was a rhythm guitarist. The next thing you know, we started rehearsing. And then the first time people heard us, they're like, these are pretty good. We did it at the house and, let the friends and the wives and the families come in. And
we call that a soft opening.
Yeah, like a soft opening. Yeah, exactly. Trying it out. And they were like, hey, you guys are actually pretty good. So anyway, we love playing. I wish we played more, but I'm excited to play Friday night. We haven't played since November 22nd.
Yeah, that's
so it's a long time. Yeah, it's too big of a gap, but we're one a month for the first quarter at least, maybe first half of the year. One gig a month. So yeah, it'll be fun, man. It's a good time. I'll bring probably 5 shirts and a couple towels. I sweat quite a bit, as you guys know. Inside, outside, it doesn't matter. But
it'll be beautiful weather on Friday, like highs in the low 70s, full.
Oh, nice, perfect. And in between, we'll be nice. I'll be outside.
Did you always have an affinity for musical lyrics? Like, were you always somebody that knew all the words to songs?
Yeah, I can pick them up pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah. I've just always kind of. And it's weird. And I don't know if I've always done it, but I do it more and more now. I could be having a conversation. You could say something in a sentence, and I'll think of the song with that line line in the sentence or in the word or in the lyrics, and my ADD goes shing, and I'm singing the song, and I'm like, wait a minute, what'd you say?
I had a thought.
I have a thought. Yeah.
I have a musical thought.
That's right. That's right.
Look, I love lyrics, even from like when I was younger too. And if I love a song, I typically know every single word. And if I don't, there's actually a Morgan Wallen song out right now, the 20 Cigarettes.
Yeah.
And it starts with something on the deck of the Mombrian, and the moment I heard the song, I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
I need to Google
figure
it.
this
And I
out.
still am not exactly sure what it is. I couldn't quite figure it out, but I'm guessing it's like the deck of a hotel or something along those lines. And if y'all know
something more expensive than I probably can afford,
yeah, exactly. Let me know. All right, time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
I may not be the biggest Pat McAfee fan, but I do appreciate, sometimes I feel like he asks good questions. And so here he is yesterday asking the one and only Nick Saban about which conference Nick Saban would be cheering for in the national championship.
Now, I didn't get the memo because I'm not a part of it. Who are you SEC people pulling for? Another national championship, rooting for anybody else? Or what are you guys? Miami, because it's kind of southern.
Yeah, you got to break up the Big Ten streak.
Yeah, you can't have. What do you want?
To me, in this day and age of the culture we have now in college football, paying players name, image, and likeness, transferring, it's an advantage for the Big Ten. I don't care. You'll never convince me otherwise.
The North?
The North.
The North?
Because people in the South would not go to the North unless you paid them.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yep. Jeremiah Smith is an example.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I heard it, I was cracking up. Hilarious, but also for real. Like, it's true. We're in, and that's how much things are changing. These players now can hit the portal whenever they want. These players now can get paid. So I've talked about this before too, even in the recruiting process of like, oh, well, it's more difficult to recruit when you're on this part of the U.S. compared to this. It doesn't matter anymore. If the kid's going to get paid, you can FaceTime, you can Skype, you can Zoom, you can do whatever you want. The difficulties of having to get to a player that lives far away are getting less and less difficult by the day. Pretty soon we'll be able to just transfer ourselves through our phone somewhere probably. But I feel like, so it's true. I mean, you're getting to the point now where these players in the South are like, I can go start right now, get paid to play football, and go to the college football playoff. Why do I have to stay in Florida and compete for the offensive line spot that I want?
The other side is they finally caught up because the SEC's been paying players forever.
They've been doing
I mean,
it
you
for
go
a while.
back to Freddie
Saban
T,
said
go
that
back
too.
to Cam Newton, go back to
It wasn't just the SEC though, obviously.
I never heard about it up north.
You never heard of? Oh, well, this isn't up north.
Up
like
north,
Free Shoes University. For
it was
FSU?
definitely.
Yeah, well, in Florida State. I mean, you heard of those. You heard of Alabama. You heard a lot about in the South. It is what it is. I would have taken the money in a heartbeat. If anybody offered me money at Boston College, you kidding me? I'd have taken that and not think twice about it. Legally, illegally. No, we didn't come from money. I would absolutely have taken that money. But and I'm being a little facetious here, but I think that's what was happening now. It's the leveling playing field, right? Again, if you no different than, hey, if I'm in Florida, I mean, look, we've always recruited Florida. I mean, Florida guys went to BC. You know, maybe not the 5-star guys, but we always had guys from Florida. You know what I mean? So that's nothing new. But maybe it's now, I can go anywhere. I don't have to go to these prestigious schools. Look at, I don't know why they're leaving Ohio State. Do you guys know why? I saw in an article that the kids there, the players, they're transferring and getting out. Not all of them, but some of them. I don't know why you'd leave that. There's something there. Maybe you go start
elsewhere.
Yeah, more money or more playing time or what have you. But I think that's the equilibrium right now. And I do look. I don't know if it's sustainable for a program like Indiana. We'll see if that does ring true. I mean, what's next? Purdue's going to be the national. You know what I mean? Like Virginia. You haven't never heard of no knock on it. Log. Sorry, buddy. I just thought of them. Old Jeff Lageman's alma mater. But these
Now
other
you called him
schools,
old.
you're going to have chances. Ole Miss, you got you recruited well and you grabbed the right QB. You got the right running back.
So we can't trim the fat just yet because we don't know who's going to rise to the top as far as this.
Right, because you know what? Indiana prior to the last couple of years might have been the fat.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe we do have to wait to trim the fat a little bit more. But I do think that's coming. I do. And I do think one day, and I don't know when that is, you're just going to have two conferences, and they're going to be whatever amount of teams, and a certain amount of teams are going to get into the playoff, and maybe have a play-in game for the lower level that's going to be part of the.
It's the NFL point too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're almost there.
Yeah.
Remember Neuheisel? What do you say? We might as well call it pro football.
Yeah,
we're paying them. You know, is there any, it's funny, my brother said to me the other day, he goes, a buddy of mine said, have you heard of any academic infractions lately? And you're like, no, you know what? You haven't heard any kind of
not playing because of,
because of academics, right?
Yeah, they used to have compliance departments.
Time.
I don't even know if those exist anymore because nobody cares about those academic progress reports. By the way, I figured it out. The DeMonbrian is a street in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
So even though it says on 20 cigarettes, and I lit me one on that redwood deck on DeMonbrian, I thought it was like on the Malbrian.
Right.
And it is DeMonbrian, which I did not know is a street in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you, Google.
I
can't afford to live on the street.
Was the cigarette before or after he's throwing furniture out the off the balcony?
Probably before and after.
Probably all of the above. These cigarettes are used more for other activities, if you know.
The cigs. By the way, did you see the lady with the cigarette earrings for Signetti? It was cigs.
And other ones had T-shirts that looked like Marlboro.
Yeah, that's a word you love.
Yeah,
I saw those. There was some cool. They're playing into that sig thing, and I love it.
As well, they should be. Like, I thought he was kind of a joke with the whole Google me, and now I just have to give all respect to everything that he's been able to build. And we'll, like you said, we'll see what happens moving forward. All right, back to the NFL on the other side. Keep it right here. 10-10X on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels.
From the Green Law Group Studios.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business.
And business is good. 1010XL.
Taking care of business every day.
Frank Frangie here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday
is served by
Morgan & Morgan.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He watches the coach's film to find the things you might have missed. Jeff Lockerman checks the tape for you. Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Inspected by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Hey, poker fans, it's a new year, and a new tournament series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville. The 2026 Best Bet Blizzard on the Beach Poker Series runs from February 5th through the 16th. The event features 10 tournaments, $600,000 in guarantees, live-streamed events on Best Bet Live, and the $1,700 Mystery Bounty main event. Win your way in with satellites starting this month. Get all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the chairman of Underwoods. With Christmas behind us in 2026 here, the last thing you want to hear is somebody trying to sell you something. That's why at Underwoods, we'd like to stop and just say thank you to all the people that came in our stores over the last year. Whether you bought from us or not, we want to thank you for coming in and giving us the chance to help. You see, in North Florida, there are a lot of people trying to sell you jewelry, but at Underwoods, we consider it an honor for somebody to come in and just give us that chance to help. And if we do a good job, we might get a chance to serve again. Having served North Florida since 1928, all of us here understand what a customer really gives us during that visit to Underwood's. Their trust. And it's up to us to do everything we can to keep it. So on behalf of everybody on the Underwood team, thanks again for coming into our stores. And we wish each of you a Happy New Year.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH, Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Do you have numbness and tingling in your fingers, or wake up at night and have to shake your hand? Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari, and at Bari Orthopedics, we have a myriad of treatments that can possibly help you. If you have numbness and tingling, you may have carpal tunnel. We have cortisone injections, PRP injections, and shockwave therapy that may help treat the numbness and tingling that you have. We also treat it surgically with endoscopic carpal tunnel release, a 2-centimeter incision that will release the nerve and have you back at work and doing what you want to do in life in no time. If you have numbness and tingling in your hand, give us a call at Bari Orthopedics or log on at bariorthopedics.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
20 cigarettes, and I lit me one on that redwood deck on the Montbriand. She was with a friend.
Great job, RJ. In case people hadn't heard this song before, a little Morgan Wallen for your Tuesday afternoon. Yes, this one is called 20 Cigarettes. The dad bods need to learn this one.
What kind of cigarettes we talking about?
Just regular cigarettes.
Oh, regular cigs?
Regular cigarettes.
Yeah, we don't do any country. Although my original ones are country.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think country needs to weave its way
into the dad bod set list. Yeah, I'm down. I like country.
And
you know, it's funny, when I first met Christine, I didn't like country at all. Now, my brothers listen to like Alabama and those old school, you know, and Hank Jr., right? They loved him, but I never got into it. And then Christina kind of got me into it, and we saw Aldine for the first time. I was like, oh, this guy's cool because he's more rock, you know, anyway. So
he's a hybrid.
Yeah, he's a hybrid. Yeah.
Country,
yeah. But anyway,
he's
I like
great
country.
in concert. And that's when Taylor knows the story. The first time I saw Morgan Wallen is he was opening for Jason Aldean.
Oh,
this was February 2020. I can never
cool.
forget because COVID hit
right
after. But yeah, it was Riley Green, who I loved, Morgan Wallen, and then Jason Aldean. And I was like, I'm good with the first two, but obviously stayed for Aldean as well.
Where was that? At the
arena.
Okay.
Yeah, Vice-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. One of your favorite event venues around town. I'll be telling you about in a little bit. All right. What is next for the 4 NFL teams that were eliminated this past weekend? We'll start with the Bills, the first team that was eliminated. I'll say new coach and more weapons for one Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think the big one for me, you've got to go get him a number 1 wide receiver. He needs a stud there. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if you try and trade or get somebody. I haven't looked at all the free agent list. I don't know if you're trying to draft a young guy to develop
Bring back
from the
Stephon
start.
Diggs.
Yeah, I don't know if that's probably not the answer either. Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, probably not the answers. But they have to. I mean, like you see what he is doing with average to bad wide receivers, and then a couple ones that are good, but they're very role type of wide receivers, like Khalil Shakir. He's one of those guys that is good at what he does, but you need that true number 1, and none of the wide receivers on the Bills team right now would be number 1s on any team in the NFL probably. So I think that to me is the biggest thing. You've got to go get him a pass catcher.
I think Josh Allen should call Aaron Rodgers and schedule a trip to Peru and go on that ayahuasca or whatever you call it, and find himself, because he seemed a little bit lost on that last game. He's going to have to regroup, but they're going to have to find him the right coordinator that he wants to work with. I mean, I think that's something I would give him a lot of input on. Not the head coach per se, but and maybe it's the head coach that calls the plays. We'll see how that shakes down. But no, I want to make sure the coordinator's right for him. And I agree with you.
I thought he liked Joe Brady from the outside looking in.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now Joe might be getting a job. So
That's right. That's right. So you're going to have to figure
and
that out.
A new head coach is going to bring in his own.
You're going to look, I do think Allen makes people around him better. but he does. I mean, look, Keon Coleman hasn't done anything for him. They need a guy down the field. I mean, they had Diggs for a while. That worked well for a little while with them, but obviously they haven't had it for since him. So, yeah, number one wide receiver. Get the right coordinator that he can work with and feel good about.
Yeah. Shakir might be a number one wide receiver on the Titans. I was trying to think of like teams
a team that could. I know.
Really bad receivers, but yeah, not a lot. All right. The 49ers, I'll just say get healthy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most obvious for that team.
Yeah, and get a new defense coordinator, looks like, right?
Yeah.
And get healthy on defense and offense, obviously, with Kittle especially and the other guys. But, you may want to look at that O-line a little bit, you know.
I was about to say that too.
I mean, Williams still is, Trent's still phenomenal, but he's getting up there in age. You might want to find his replacement in the draft if there's one there. But, yeah, you got to regroup. You got the quarterback. You definitely got Purdy. He's a good QB if you can keep him, protected and whatnot. And I think
I wonder if they also try to keep Mac Jones. I mean,
I would.
I'm sure.
Unless a team
he came in and was decent when he needed to be.
He saved you. I mean, when he took over, you were like, oh no, they're Mac Jones, and then he went to I think New Orleans was his first win. We went on the road. Does that sound about right? You don't have to look it up, but I think it was right around there that he on the road came away with a win. You're like, okay, and then he ripped off a couple wins, 3 wins, 4 wins.
Good memory, Tom. That was back on September 14th. He had 3 touchdowns.
Come on, that CTE ain't hitting all the time. D my ass. No, yeah, he filled in really nice. So they've got it going. I saw somewhere where why wasn't Shanahan let go? But that'd be crazy to let him go. There's no way. I think it's a little crazy to let go of McDermott, but whatever. The other side of that is maybe just need a new message. You need something fresh. Something new.
The
something
bottom
different.
line is the view has become if you have an elite quarterback and you haven't gotten a championship win, a conference championship win, then we need to look for the next guy who will. That's what I think the message was to Sean McDermott with the Bills, and I think that's the same thing with the Ravens and Harbaugh because they have Lamar, they haven't won a conference championship, and then obviously same with the Bills.
I was just going to say they better be right on that thinking.
Oh, yeah. I think, and I don't know the situation when it comes to all their training staff and all of that, but you might want to have discussions there because this is back-to-back years where your entire team is hurt. And I don't know if that's just super bad luck, but there's maybe something is into that because this is, big role players, big pieces of your team, and back-to-back years have missed majority of the season. And wide receivers, tight ends, all of them. And you're talking about both of your trenches that you can't have that every single year.
Yep.
And it's not like they're old players. Like it's not like you have this whole team of old guys that you're at the end of it. You have a lot of young players that are dealing with that too. So something there. But I do think that you want to get healthy, and I think the offensive line you do have to start to address a little bit there because I do think that is one of the maybe aging pieces of where they are, and they have a good line when they're all healthy, but if you can't stay healthy, you see how quick that starts to fall apart.
A lot of times when that happens, they're looking at that strength and conditioning coordinator. Not no right or wrong, but that's if you got a lot of injuries, they start looking at that.
Which is what's so ironic is the Bills fired their longtime strength and conditioning coach last year, Eric Ciano, and that was a surprise because everyone, I remember at least reading all about how well thought of he was and well respected. And then he comes to the Jaguars, and I do feel like outside of a few injuries here and there, the Jaguars had a pretty healthy season.
Yeah.
Yes, they had guys that maybe had to be placed on IR and missed 4 weeks or 5 weeks, but they didn't miss. It wasn't season ending other than Travis Hunter, Jalen McLeod they tried to bring back. That's pretty much it. So you have a great strength and conditioning coach.
Right. Here's the question.
Oh, yeah. And
if Baltimore kicker doesn't miss and they move on, if Josh Allen hits the tight end and they move on. If Pittsburgh, figures it out and gets in, are they fired? I mean, if Josh Allen won against, I'm sorry to cut you off, against the Bills.
McDermott's not fired.
I mean, against the
Broncos.
The Broncos.
Yeah. Which they almost did. You're a field goal away from winning that, but of course you're not going to fire if they would have won and moved on. Not saying if they lost in the conference championship, maybe they still fire McDermott. I don't know.
That's right.
I guess depending how it looks.
Yeah.
If it's a game where it seems like they had it, and maybe a couple of mistakes or other team, New England or whoever just looked better in the championship game, whatever the case may be. But if you're looking at, okay, here's another year where, again, you're just not getting it done in the moment you need to, and this is your prime year to make it happen, I think that's where their mindset is. I don't think technically he deserved to be fired. I think at some point, it's like changes have to be made, and what's the first change you feel like happens?
And Tomlin wasn't fired.
He
I think,
stepped down,
looked around and said, I'm going to take a year off, and then I'm going to pick my job next year, because we all know
or that's just the way they did it. I mean, maybe it's a mutual thing,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the Harbaugh one is so fascinating because Lamar Jackson hasn't achieved what I think a lot of people thought that he would.
Yeah.
And it's not all on his shoulders, but that's,
it is so.
But if Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh/Munkin, if they're not in a symbiotic relationship, the coach leaves, right? The quarterback stays. Like
right. I feel like the friction was Munkin and Lamar, and then Harbaugh's like, well, I'm loyal to Munkin. I'm not firing him.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
And they're like, well, we're not getting rid of Lamar.
Right.
We can't.
And Sean McDermott and Josh Allen didn't necessarily see eye to eye, and I haven't necessarily heard that. But then again, it's going to be Sean McDermott, not Josh Allen.
Yeah,
all right,
that's
the
right.
Texans. I believe the Texans have to work on fixing C.J. Stroud. So that's including in the offensive line. They might have to look at skill position players because they've had some injuries, even if Tank Dell's able to come back. Now Nico Collins, what does that look like? So that's what I would say for the Texans.
Yeah, I mean,
the defense is elite.
CJ's, you got to figure that out. I mean,
I
I don't really know what I would do, if I were them. I saw our good friend Seth Payne quoted something on Twitter, and he said something to like, I wouldn't give him the extension, but I would give him the 5th year.
Pick up the 5th year option.
Yeah.
Pick up the 5th year option, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
I think the issue with that is, and it's okay because it is what it is, but like I said the other day, like, when you're a 4th year franchise QB and your 5th year's coming up and that option's coming up, you should be in talks for an extension. And if you don't get the extension, that means they question what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of agree with Seth. Like, look, give him the 5th year. Too bad. Maybe you lose him, maybe you don't. But, I mean, that's a big risk to give him a big contract.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't collect like Trevor's now going to collect, right? It's a similar situation.
Look at what happened with Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
And it's a little different because Tua had suffered so many concussions and whatnot. But they gave him the extension.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have.
Well, I mean, people have said that here, too.
Yeah.
Of,
We did.
Of contemplating whether it was, I did, too. And I think, so that, to me, it goes, yes, give him the 5th year. Give him that 5th year option. Fix the line in the run game, whether that means I don't know what's up with Joe Mixon and what's going on there. But that's how I felt here, too, is, okay, if you can fix the line and you get a run game going and then Trevor still struggles, then the problem's Trevor and not everything else. And we saw some of those things kind of come to where Trevor started playing better once he had the surroundings to help, and the right play callers, obviously, a big part of that, too. I think that when you have one of the worst lines in the NFL and you can't run the ball, it makes it really, really hard on the quarterback, no matter who the quarterback is. And that's what CJ's dealt with the last 2 years. So I think you give him that 5th year option, fix the line, and get the run game going. And if you still have issues, then you say goodbye. And then
he
you're
may not be
figuring
good.
out
Just because he was good 1 year doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be a good quarterback.
I'm telling you, that rookie year, you just got to be careful because you don't know once they get you on tape, and he's declined. Now, the question is, like Liam fixed, quote unquote, Trevor, can somebody fix him? I don't know the answer, but if I'm them, I'm studying what they did with Trevor. I'm figuring something out. Like,
does he have the attitude that Trevor has, and as
maybe
far as
not.
like being coachable?
Maybe
and that's
not.
Where obviously that's all the conversation we heard coming out of this season is Trevor worked so hard and he took all the things that they wanted to work on to heart.
And he did.
And if CJ Stroud is like, no, I've got this or what have you, and I'm not saying he's like that, but
he was early.
We know that he had the conversation with Bobby
early.
Slowick, his original OC, and he's on his second OC at this point in time. But all right, one more team to go. We'll do that on the other side. Keep it right here. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you. Welcome to the jungle.
We're too old to die, baby.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Happy New Year from Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It is 2026. Is this what you've been waiting for? Is the time now for you to drop the weight with Awaken 180 Weight Loss? Look, the time was right for me. I had to do something. I remember looking at myself in the mirror, just couldn't believe it, man. I was going down a bad path. Found out about the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss, started talking with a coach, and instantly I knew that is exactly what I needed. Awaken 180 changed my life. I lost over 100 pounds. Guys, take it from somebody that lost triple digits on this program. It worked for me. It will work for you. No shots, no pills. You do it the natural way with the terrific coaching of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or go to Awaken180weightloss.com and do what I did with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Terminix. Terminix does such a great job taking care of all of the pest issues at my house, and trust me, I do not want mice and rats because when they show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents, and they'll keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule your free inspection online. That's TerMinix.com.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Covered by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ready to race Jacksonville? Indoor racing anytime at K1 Speed. Fast electric karts, real competition, and family fun. Buy 2 races, get 1 free every Tuesday. Cruise over to K1 Speed Jacksonville today. Your top destination for indoor racing.
Are you searching for a career in the HVAC industry? Florida Home AC is looking for an A team. Full-time positions for qualified individuals to train for HVAC service technicians, install mechanics, and sales consultants. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and click on careers to find out more. We're talking great compensation, a 5-day work week, no downtime in the off-season, and a company-provided vehicle. Check it all out at FloridaHomeAC.com/career. That's FloridaHomeAC.com/career. Equal opportunity employer.
Need or want cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out. Equity with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit
NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Continuing on this last segment, we were going through the teams that were in the divisional round of the playoffs and what's next for them to continue. And
the ones that lost.
The ones that lost.
Yep.
And
I really thought the golden moment was going to be that Caleb Williams throw to Cole Kmet.
It was not. It was golden, though. It was beautiful.
It was golden.
It's funny because I was like fine on Monday, and I've honestly gotten sadder throughout the week because I keep seeing posts of the game, and I'm like, shoulda, like one of the shoulda won. Same with the Jags. Like it was that moment where I was like, it's okay, everything's good. But then you'd see certain clips from the game and you're man, like that sucks. You're so close to being on to the next round. But
it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. Sure. And it's like now football's so far away. I'm like, now we have to wait so long again. But yeah, so continuing on, because we were talking a little bit, obviously the Bills, the Texans, and the 49ers, and then now, so the next one was the Bears. The Bears lost, obviously, and for me, the most obvious thing and the main need for them is pass rush. They just had one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL. Montez Sweat was the only one. It got a little better towards the end. The young kid, Austin Booker, he started really shining. They started blitzing later, but you can't count on your safeties and nickel corners all the time to be the only ones to get sacks. So that, to me, is going to be huge. I would put money that they spend their 25th pick or whatever they end up having on a pass rusher, if there's one at that level, which this is a very deep edge
I've seen
class.
Caleb Banks, the Florida
I've
Gator,
seen
in a mock draft.
Yeah, but the offensive line is great. We had probably top 3 offensive line in the NFL this year. Nobody's going anywhere. Everyone has contracts. They found a couple young guys last year in the draft too that I think they'll be fine. But the defensive line, there's a lot of work to be done. So I think I wouldn't like every pick almost goes to defensive line is what my guess would be, and maybe a corner or something like that.
Would you keep Dexter, Grady?
I love Javon Dexter and Grady. So Grady was hurt almost all year long, and then finally got healthy in those last couple weeks, and that's when you finally started seeing some interior pressure. So I wouldn't be surprised, but he's getting older, so you definitely need to have a replacement either way. But Javon Dexter, I love. I think he's going to be a part of this team for a while. He has a contract extension coming up soon that you'll be talking about, so they'll see what they do there. But there's just nothing else beyond that, and that's one of their biggest problems.
Now, they were hurt at linebacker, right?
Yeah, at one point they had all 3 of their linebackers out.
Would you upgrade any of them?
So a lot of people don't love Tremaine Edmonds. He's fine in moments, and then sometimes it's just like coverage-wise can't keep up.
Trouble.
TJ Edwards, he's had injury issues though, so you're probably starting to discuss that. But Noah Sewell came in this year, played well when he was hurt.
Edwards was a broken femur.
Yeah, which late in the season, like playoff game, break your femur. That's awful.
Yep.
So yeah, they're definitely defensive wise. It feels like that's where most of the discussions are going to be, because you have your offensive line, you have your running backs, you have your wide receivers, you have your quarterback. Everything else seems established on the offensive side of the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if pretty much every pick in the draft goes to the defensive side.
Yeah, I'll go to the offense. Get Cole Kmet more opportunities in the pass game. That'll be number one. And look, I think Caleb's really special. They got to hone him in a little bit, though. He's a little still bit of like one of those, Mustang horses out in the wild. You know what I mean? Beautiful, fast, can jump, but wild and crazy. He's not crazy like that, but just needs to hone in his game a little bit more. And I get it, because
in first year under Ben Johnson,
of course,
we're going to give Trevor the Liam Cohen leash.
Of course. But at the same time, he misses routine ones that you shouldn't miss. I think it's more of him he believes so much in his arm. He believes in his leg. I mean, I love when he takes off and runs. He's really dynamic with that. His arm might be one of the best in the league. I mean, the way he can just flick it. So I get why he throws the way he throws, and he thinks everyone's got to be a heater, and it's hard to catch those things, especially in the cold when it's slick and whatnot. But look, again, he'll hone in a little bit, and I think he's going to be that much better. But if they get that, they fix their defense. They could be right back in the mix of it in the NFC. No doubt. You got to stay healthy. But their O-line's really, I mean, I love what they did with their O-line last year, and they needed to. They needed to fix the O-line, and what'd they do? I mean, Tooney's he's like our CVL, but even, maybe better, right? Just because he's done it longer. Flip him out to left tackle, and you're like, okay.
There's only one returning offensive lineman this last year. 4 were different.
Yeah.
And that's how much they felt like they had to revamp that line.
Yeah, and obviously consistency is important there. Although I'll warn us, for a fast forward to July and August when we go to training camp and the Jaguars are constantly, moving offensive linemen around.
Yeah.
We're not going to be worried.
It's
this
not
time.
panic.
No.
That was really smart
right.
that you did that a season ago. So yeah, maybe do that this season too. Yeah. As you look around that division, like you said, the NFC North, is there another coaching quarterback that you would want over what you have now with Ben and Johnson and Caleb Williams? I mean, and the Vikings, once upon a time, you would have loved Kevin O'Connell and maybe Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins, but not, I don't think right now, JJ McCarthy.
And and that's what
Dan
I don't
Campbell
know.
And Jared
Brunell? Detroit?
Yeah.
Come on over, Mark.
That's what the one I think people may say. But I mean, they had to fire their offensive coordinator this year because it wasn't working, and Dan Campbell, is probably going to have to pull someone in that can call plays because his didn't
right.
really work either when he
Right.
took over. So
And then Matt
they've
LaFleur
got to
was
figure
almost
something
fired,
out.
basically,
Yeah.
even though
That-
they were
and
working
Packers
towards-
fans don't want him. Most that I know
Right.
didn't want him to stay.
Right.
And I'm not still the biggest fan of Jordan Love. And so I think that there's an argument there. I think to Tommy's point, there's things that need to be fixed in Caleb. And that's what it's like. Okay, he's only played his second year. And
Yeah.
the first year was such a mess that you almost same with Trevor, where you're like, just throw that out the window because he had 3 offensive coordinators, got sacked 70 times almost that year. This year was year one, what it felt like in the development of what Caleb is in the NFL.
And for the look, Trevor had a phenomenal year. We got to hone in him just a tiny bit, and he'll have an even better
he had
year
a
next year.
phenomenal second half.
Second
so
half,
that's
yeah.
what,
I think he's still in the first half of the season. There were times he still played well. They're just, it wasn't, the whole thing certainly wasn't coming together.
No,
Right.
There was a lot of mistakes,
It
a
was
lot of overthrows, a
inconsistent.
lot.
Yeah, it
it
was
But there's
inconsistent.
definitely no other coach and quarterback in the AFC
No
South
way.
that would be taken over
No way.
Liam and Trevor.
Listen, and we all said it before he went on the run, Trev. We were all like, he's consistently inconsistent. But that changed. That changed in the course of the second half of the season, and we hope that continues on
next
as
year,
we move forward.
Absolutely. And look, again, year 2 for both of those guys, whether you're talking about Caleb Williams, year 2 with Ben Johnson in that system, year 2 for Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen's system.
Definitely.
Hopefully Grant Udinski stays.
Yeah.
And it's all a seamless thing. They don't have to relearn any language.
Yeah.
Every time you get an offensive coordinator, obviously there's a new system incoming.
Yeah.
Not necessarily interim offensive coordinators, but year over year.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work.
And Caleb comes down here to work out with the
does,
guys,
Denny,
doesn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, Denny and those guys. So that's interesting. Purdy, too. Purdy comes over and
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that head
participates.
down this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. All right, Pets of the Day on the other side. Keep it right here, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Hey, life can get a little hectic at times, and no one has time to get hurt. Loss of wages, injuries that not only hurt, but ones that hinder our success. If you're in this position due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. What's up, Jacksonville? Tom McManus here. Injuries suck, and I know it. And if you get injured out there, check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the land. That's right, 100 offices, over 1,000 lawyers with enough firepower to handle any and all personal injury cases that you may be dealing with. And they make filing a claim easy and don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, that's right, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit pound law from your cell. Pound law, that's all.
I'm with Fred from Cycles in Jacksonville. We always talk about Honda, Triumph, so many great bikes, but Aprilia from Italy is also a beautiful line.
It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is a fine sport bike. It's one that when you take your helmet off, you're never frowning. You're always smiling.
So if you want to treat yourself to something really special on the road, that's a line they should look into?
Absolutely, and we've got them in stock and ready to roll.
All right, make sure you check them out. They are on Atlantic near Regency. CyclesofJacksonville.com is a great place to go, or check out their Facebook page at Cycles of Jacksonville.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality in a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home, for a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
This is Dave Barker with IHRS. Are you frustrated with those trendy pills and lotions that claim to make your hair thicker and fuller? Tired of your hair falling out? Our hair restoration solutions have helped over 10,000 men and women restore their hair in as little as 2 office visits.
Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank.
My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit hollispools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Nice call.
Hey, Dad, I hope you're doing all right. Just sitting out here tonight.
This would be an original from one Tom McManus.
Yeah, man. That's a little country.
Little
Ish.
country, yeah.
Ish,
Little.
yeah. I got another one I'm going to be doing with Damian Starkey from Puddle of Mud called
Perfect.
If I Could Write a Song. And that's country, too. I don't know where it's coming from, but
Your
just
soul.
keep doing it. Yeah, it's from the soul, baby. We do sing this one, so it's fun. It's fun. It's emotional.
It's a tribute, obviously, to your dad.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
I think it's fantastic. By the way, programming note, tonight at 7 o'clock, you can hear Florida play host to LSU in men's basketball. That comes up on 1010 a.m. and the 1010 a.m. stream. So looking for Florida to win another one in the SEC. Time now for today's Terminix Pest of the Day. It's always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They do a great job at our house. They will do the same for you and your home or business, just like they do at Everbank Stadium, VyStar Ballpark, VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. I found this pretty hilarious, and the pest in this situation would just be our wonderful Kirk Herbstreit. I love Kirk, but sometimes the narratives that those guys push are pretty funny. So obviously, last night he kept saying over and over again, Carson Beck has a newfound love for this sport, right? Like as if he hated football at Georgia, even though he won 2 national championships. Granted, he wasn't the starter, Stetson Bennett was, but still. And then Ratty Nabulsi said, yeah, pay me $4 million and let me loose on Miami and I'll love whatever the hell you want.
I was about to say the Lambo might help you love a little bit more.
Right. And so it was just more, the narrative that I felt like that kept being pushed about like, oh, this is this, just guy who he'd fallen on hard times and Miami picked him up and dusted him off. Like that's not exactly, or that's not at all how any of this works. Yeah. Carson Beck was a 5-star recruit. He at one point in time was committed to Florida and Alabama to play baseball and then ended up deciding he wanted to play football. And look, the journey that he's been on, I'm sure he could write a book about, right? Like all the stuff that he's seen. But at the end of the day, it wasn't that Carson Beck had to have this, same story as Fernando Mendoza, who was not recruited by Miami, had to go to Cal, then go to Indiana. Yeah, all those things.
Well, he looked at the draft, didn't he, before he went to Miami? And then he said, I'm not going to go in the draft.
He thought long and hard about it, but he had just had
Make
that
more
UCL
money in
elbow
college.
injury. And
I don't blame him.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But either way, the story ends with obviously Indiana winning the national championship. It's first and maybe not its last. We'll see what Kurt Cignetti can do. But the other pest, by the way, could also be the time that they start the game.
The day.
8 and the day.
Yeah, and the day.
Almost 8 o'clock on a Monday night. I put in our group text at like 11:17. That's when the game ended. Like that's a little late for a weeknight.
Yeah, I was sleepy. I know some Some people don't care about that, but we were like, let's think of like other ways we can do this. And I feel like this weekend, I get you're competing with the NFL and the NFL rules, so you feel like you want your day because you want to be able to say like this is the college football day.
Why not Friday night for college football?
That's what I was thinking. Why can't they do Friday night and then everybody would be pumped for a Friday night game. You get off work and you get to watch the college football playoffs. Then you have the weekend of the NFL after. I feel like something like that would work a lot better. Then you're already been watching football all week and doing all of that, and then now you have to stay up until 8 p.m. to even watch on the East Coast, at least to watch the kickoff. But that's just being Grandma Taylor coming out.
I
But
thought the playoffs on Monday night were weird too. I didn't like that either. I know you got to fit them in, so it's not like you can't. I don't know what you do with that,
I didn't
but
like it either.
that was kind of weird. I was done by the time Monday night came.
You
know, I mean, I watched it, but
well,
it wasn't
that's
as
because the Jags have
exciting.
been eliminated, so
yeah,
I
that's
totally
true.
understand.
That probably factored in.
Let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Frank, did you have any trouble staying awake last night?
Yes. Okay. That's first of all, that's a yes. Secondly, I finally do the handoff and I get Grandma Taylor. I mean, what are the chances?
Grandma Taylor, gas station closed Taylor. They're very similar.
I love gas station closed. That's my favorite Taylor, and I like every Taylor.
That's right.
True story. I'm watching it. I don't know if you do this or not, but about 8:30 or 9 is when the head bob goes. So I either, that's it, screw it, I'm in bed by 10. Or if I fight through the head bob, I get that second win.
I got to stand up, though.
I did too. I stood up, I walked around, but I got the head bob going, and I got the head bob, but once I woke up, then I watched the whole game, and then I'm wired.
Right.
Then I'm wired. Suzanne stumbles out of the bedroom at like 11:30 when she goes, "You coming to bed?" I said, "No, I'm wired." She said, "What do you mean you're wired?" I said, "I'm wired." She goes, "Whatever." She goes, "Okay."
I was the same way.
You're like, the Hoosiers just won.
It was like 45 minutes later before I went to bed.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous before the game because, our team's not in it or what have you. Yeah. But I will say when Carson Beck got the ball with about a minute left, that's when the anti-Miami nerves started to come out. And I was like, don't you dare do this.
What a great game.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Fantastic game. And I think even though Fernando Mendoza might be a little odd, I suppose is the right word, in as far as what we're used to with a stock quarterback, he's a great story, but also a great quarterback.
He's really good player. And I mean, that's one of the great stories of all time that Indiana did this. We're going to talk about this on our show today, by the way. One thing that really jarred me. Did you hear Chris Fowler say the average age of their team?
Yes.
24?
Yeah.
He said the average age is older than some NFL
Which that
team.
part's not true because I immediately Googled what's the average age of an NFL team.
But you got the point,
and
though.
it's like 26 and a half, but still very close.
Anyway, but it was amazing. I mean, there's a bunch of old guys that have played
mature.
forever. Mature. Yeah, right. Tommy and I are old guys.
That's right.
Tommy, you notice how I brought you in with me?
Yeah.
I'm way older than Tommy.
We're the same
At
era.
this point, I got us in together. That's exactly
Saw the
right.
grandpas at it.
Exactly. And grandma. So you're all going. Okay, so that's it. So, but we have fun. Hacker's sitting in today. No Hayes today. We're going to certainly talk a lot about last night's game. A lot about the whole coordinator thing is Udinski and Campanile and what's going to happen with those guys. Every coach that's been hired so far, by the way, is a coach that's been a head coach. Did you notice that? They've all head coach. So I wonder if that's kind of where we're headed. So we'll do that today. Florida basketball tonight.
Yeah.
Are you jacked about Florida basketball?
Of course. I'm wearing orange and blue.
It's now they've kind of found themselves. So we're going to do this.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what numbers they're wearing today.
Just mix it up every game and see really throw people off.
Says he should wear 99. Well, what happens if he wears 99 as a bad game? Does he go back? What do you wear? 12?
Cut his hair?
They're like, which one's Chinulu? I can't remember.
I can't remember. Yes.
By the way, has anyone had a better career arc than Fernando Mendoza, Kurt Signetti? No, other than Jeff Hafley. Jeff Hafley was the head coach at Boston College and said, you know what? I'm going to become a defensive coordinator in the NFL, and then turns around and gets a head coaching job in the NFL.
I know Coach Hafley.
Yeah,
I like him.
People love him.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
People love him. Yeah, so you're right about that. So, but the word was when he left BC to go be an assistant in the NFL, that he would one day be an NFL head coach. I didn't know if that was true. Yeah. And sure enough.
Yeah.
I do know he left college because he didn't want to deal with all that's going on. He's like, I just want to coach
football.
I
want to coach football.
That's all he wanted to do.
I'm glad he's with the Dolphins, not the Titans.
Yeah, I'm glad he's at the NFC North.
And that's also true.
All coming up today. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Frank. We shall be listening. That'll do it for us today. For Grandma Taylor Doll, for Tommy McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These seals are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. Frank and Hacker come up next right here at 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yeah.
helmets and heels.
Bought for you by Queen Law Group on 1010XL. Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
It's a power conference with power forwards on fire. Florida's Thomas Ha and LSU's Markel Sutton. Gators Tigers tonight at 7 on 1010 AM.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here, and the cooler weather is upon us. Folks, it's the perfect time to try the new breakfast sandwich from Dandy Foods. A hearty one, too. A twin-pack cinnamon swirl and country sausage. You get the sweet first, then the salty kicks in, and trust me, they are addicting. And you'll find